This is Apostle Lance, and I bless God for you, our viewers. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for the feedback that we receive from you. Now, I want to answer a certain question, and the question is, should a wife continue to submit to her husband even when she doesn't feel loved? Or should a husband continue to love his wife even when she's not submitting to him like she should? And my answer to that question is a direct yes. You are supposed to continue to treat each other as a couple with love and respect even when you don't feel good about each other. One thing that I want us to understand is this, that both love and submission are not just feelings, they are responsibilities. This means that you don't have to first feel good about your spouse in order to treat them with love and respect. You are supposed to do it because we are commanded to do it. The husband is supposed to love his wife even as Christ loves the church. And the wife is supposed to submit to her husband as the church submits to Christ. Now, this instruction was not given with conditions, that you have to first feel good about your husband before you can submit to them, or you have to first feel good about your wife before you can love them. It's a command, it is an instruction, and we must obey it. One thing that I'm asking us to do is this: learn to do the word of God regardless of how you feel about it. When God gives us instructions, he has reason why he's giving us those instructions. Now, submission requires us to obey. It does not require us to agree. You don't submit to your husband because you agree with him. You submit to him because you are obeying the word of God. Now, you don't love your wife as Christ loves the church because you feel good about it or because you are good at loving. You do it because it's an instruction given to husbands. Now, I want you to understand one thing, that we are not supposed to demand submission from our wives. And also, wives are not supposed to demand love from their husbands. Look, when we stand before God, he's not going to ask you, why didn't your wife submit to you? No. And when you stand before God, he's not going to ask you, why didn't your husband love you as Christ loved the church? No. God is going to ask you, why didn't you submit to your husband? He's going to ask you, why didn't you love your wife like I commanded you? So we need to learn to do the word even when we don't feel good about it. There are moments in marriage where you have to submit to your husband as a weapon. And there are moments where you have to love your wife as a weapon, knowing that the more you love them is the more you will inspire them to submit to you. And the more you submit to your husband is the more you will inspire him to love you. So sometimes we have to use it as a weapon. We have to use it as a way of inspiring our husbands or wives to respond to us that way. So in conclusion, I am asking us husbands, focus on loving your wife as Christ loves the church. And you as a wife, focus on submitting to your husband even as the church submits to Christ. When we do that, if you focus on submitting to your husband and he focuses on loving you, what a great marriage shall we have. But when we focus on what has not been done for you and you begin to demand it, then you have gone off. Marriage is not a place for demanding. Marriage is a place for serving without expecting anything in return. But I can assure you, you will never obey the word of God and don't get the benefits of it. May the Lord bless you.